In the early 19th century, the Rif region of Morocco witnessed tensions between local tribes and European colonial powers, especially the Spanish. Nador was a strategic area due to its location overlooking the Mediterranean Sea and its proximity to Melilla, which was occupied by the Spanish. The conflict was part of a series of battles and skirmishes that the region witnessed in defense of local independence. The Rif tribes were strong and known for their bravery in combat and their refusal to submit to foreign domination. In contrast, the Spanish were seeking to expand their influence in northern Morocco, especially in the coastal areas. The battle arose from Spanish attempts to control Nador and strengthen their presence in the region. The Rif tribes, led by local leaders, began to mobilize their forces after increasing Spanish threats. The Rifians relied on guerrilla tactics, taking advantage of their knowledge of the rugged mountainous terrain around Nador. In contrast, the Spanish had equipped their forces with warships and modern weapons, but lacked accurate knowledge of the area. At the beginning of the battle, the Spanish attempted to land their forces near Nador along the coast. Their plan was to use their military superiority and take advantage of artillery and warships to impose their control over the city. The initial attack was intended to paralyze the tribal defenses and open the way for an advance inland. The Rifians fiercely resisted the attack. The Rifians used their elevated positions and the terrain of the area to ambush the advancing Spanish forces. They relied on accurate shooting and rapid attacks, then withdrew to safe positions. After the initial Spanish attack failed to penetrate the tribal defenses, the battle began to take on the character of direct confrontations. The Spanish attempted to advance towards the city via ground attacks, but they faced strong resistance from the Rifian warriors who succeeded in significantly slowing down their advance. The Rifian tribes relied heavily on guerrilla tactics in their confrontation with the Spanish forces. These tactics were based on sudden and rapid strikes, targeting the Spanish supply lines, and then quickly withdrawing into the mountains to avoid direct confrontation with the superior forces in number and weaponry. Despite the strong resistance from the tribes, the Spanish forces were able at one stage to pressure and besiege the city. There were repeated attempts to storm Nador, but each attempt was met with a strong response from the Rifian warriors who used their knowledge of the area to their advantage. Alongside the warriors, the people of Nador participated in the defense of the city. The locals supported the fighters by providing supplies and intelligence. Women and children played an important role in transporting supplies and providing support to the fighters on the front lines. After several failed attempts to take the city and the continued depletion of their forces through continuous ambushes and rural attacks, the Spanish forces began to retreat.